Hey class, this is Dr. Willis logging in to give you a quick presentation on how to respond in the Module 3 journal. We want you to get a firm understanding of the short paper rubric. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. For this journal, we're really looking ahead to the Module 7 paper. In Module 7, you're going to submit a short paper in which you'll describe your motivations for starting college, among other things. All writing assignments, including the journal, are assessed using an associated rubric. For your Module 7 paper, the rubric that will be used to assess your work is the short paper rubric. We're going to read a little bit further. It says a fundamental step in preparing any written assignment is to carefully review the rubric in addition to the assignment description so that you fully understand all expectations. To help you prepare for your final paper, Module 7, we will take a closer look now at the short paper rubric, which will be used to assess your paper. All right, so the first thing you want to do is open the rubric, in which at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you want to start simply answering specific questions specifically related to the rubric. So the next slide you'll see here is the rubric. All right, so you'll see where it says critical elements here. Then now these are all the critical elements of the rubric. You have initial motivations, you have continued motivations, you have motivational plan, and writing mechanics. So there's actually four elements, four critical elements of the rubric. All right, and of course you'll see this is how you earn exemplary, this is proficient, needs improvement, not evident. But what you want to focus on for this assignment are the critical elements. All right, and it's just a coincidence that the first question says, what are the critical elements of the short paper rubric? So as we just said, as we just saw, it's located in the first column of the rubric. We saw there were four of them. So all you're going to do is simply list them. The critical elements of the short paper rubric are blank, 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 blank. All right, this is very simple. A very simple question should be a straightforward answer. All you have to do is review that rubric, look at the critical elements, and simply list them. Okay? Now the next question is going to be a little more detailed. It says, which element will give you the least trouble? Which of those four critical elements will give you the least trouble? So you want to explain which element will be easiest for you to write about, or to easiest for you, period. Will it be your initial motivations? I don't want to give you the answer, but figure out which one will be easiest for you. And you always want to be detailed in your reasoning and explain why. So for me, for instance, if I thought the writing element is going to be difficult, if I'm a struggling writer, if that's an issue for me, that's what I would list. And I would expound upon why I stated that. Okay, so why is it easy? If you see the picture right here, this is so easy. So which element is going to be easiest for you to write about? The next thing is, which element will give you the most trouble? So which will be the hardest for you to write about? And I think I just messed that up on the last one. If writing would have been the easiest for me, that's what I would have used. But which element for this one will give you the most trouble? Okay. Of course, always be detailed. Explain why. Okay. Remember, this is the element that will frustrate you the most. This will frustrate you. So you explain why this specific critical element will be the most difficult for you to write about. Okay. Things to remember. This is a very brief presentation. This is not where you write about the Module 7 paper. You're not going into great detail about the paper, but you want to expound on each element. You are analyzing the short paper rubric only. This is where you're analyzing. Be detailed and thorough. This is a little more detailed than a discussion board, worth more points. I think this is 50 points. So you want to be detailed and thorough. And you always want to explain why you picked something. The only place you're not explaining is when you list the critical elements. When you list all 4 of those elements, all you're saying is the critical elements of the short paper rubric are, boom. Now, when it comes to which element will be the easiest for you to write about, that's where you're going to explain why. Which element will be the most difficult for you to write about, that's when you explain why as well. So hopefully this little presentation broke that assignment down a little bit, and you have an understanding of what's expected of you for this journal. I believe it's straightforward, but I really wanted to take the time to ensure that you understood what was going on. Okay? And of course, reach out to me if you need me. Alrighty, bye-bye.